What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Canes Insight Daily Podcast. We are live, going live earlier than I expected because I heard this was coming today. Didn't expect it to come there at noon, but great news for the Miami Hurricanes with an elite speedster, Vance Spafford, wide receiver committing to the University of Miami, flipping from Georgia, top 75 player in the country, top 10 wide receiver in the country. Just an elite guy when you talk about slot, when you talk about speed, when you talk about, just all the different things this guy brings to the table. He is extremely talented. And there we go. He's got the post up. So start with him with his own post, right? Before we get into anything else. There you go. He's saying it. Shock the world. Go Canes. Got Kevin Beard in there. You got Mario Cristobal. You got the lovely Mrs. Spafford. And the next star wide receiver for the University of Miami, Vance Spafford. Let's definitely throw him a follow. Fired up about this one. So what do you know about this guy? Really simple. Elite speed. What do I mean by elite speed, right? We throw that word out a lot. This is in terms of football. This guy is 4.35 laser at the Future 50 event, which is the best players in the country competing. And laser time, he is a 4.35 player, fastest guy in the entire camp with some of the best players in the country in attendance. Yeah, we got people fired up here today in the comments, man. I'm here in the 786 Sports Studio. I'm actually here to record El Big League Show, which is my baseball show. Starts at 1, but we had to get this thing going because it is just it is on and pop. And so here, let's talk about Spafford. Again, I talked about the speed. What am I talking about? Let's see the highlight here. This is him at the Future 50 event, running that 4.35 leg. So not only do you know it's a legit 4.35 because of the laser component, but also you're comparing him to the other players in the camp. And you're the fastest one there. These are the fastest guys in the country. Production-wise, off parts, we'll pull up his highlights here while we talk about him. But, production-wise, this guy's absolutely unreal. He had over 1,500 yards as a sophomore, which is like astronomical production, 22 touchdowns. Last year, he had his stats dropped to only about, a little under 1,100 yards and like 14 touchdowns. But, I mean, look at that release right there. There's a legitimate speedster with not just pure speed, but quickness as well and craft in his route running. He's a big-time route runner. He catches the ball with his hands. He produces at every level. The crazy thing about this whole process is he was committed to Georgia, visited Miami unofficially this spring. We reported on Canes Insight that there was a lot more juice here than people thought with the Canes and that Miami had a real chance to flip this player. He ends up visiting Georgia last week, supposed to visit Miami this past weekend. Everybody kind of thinks, at least on the Miami side, he's coming here to flip. Georgia thinks he's probably coming here to flip. Ends up canceling his visit. Gets people a little concerned, right? Georgia lock it down, get him to stay. He says he's sick. He says that he's not able to play or to visit the camp, and Miami's able to get it done and bring him home here without even an official visit. So, yeah, okay, here, let me just checking on my streams here. Sorry, this was unexpected. So we're going live here. But yeah, man, this guy. Oh, Gabby just dropped the Zachary Turner crystal ball. We'll talk about that one in a second. Pac Mahomes asking, what's the comp? To me, the comp here is very similar to like a Tank Dell. Tank Dell, who was under Shannon Dawson at Houston when Shannon Dawson had the number 1 offense or top 10 offense in the country. Tank Dell was the number 1 receiver in the country. So I see similarities just in the way he's going to be used, same offense. And then, Tank Dell was quick and fast. Look at a guy like Strepo. He's quick, but he's not fast, as we know, 4.8. And he's heavier. Vance Spafford is a lighter guy, but I think the speed factor plus the quickness, that's why I always say Tank Dell, because it's just the same system, similar size, similar productivity, can run routes and can get open and can take the top off. But man, people are fired up. Again, Santana Moss comparison, another guy that was quick and fast. Techstar saying, long are the days when we used to recruit 4.8 receivers. Got Miami speed coming back. Now that 4.8 receiver was a first-team All-America. His banner's in the in the rafters, I would take that 4A receiver every day of the week. But I'd also take a guy like Spafford, right, with the speed. So you're adding that component as well. And I think this is just a huge, huge, huge addition. Brandon asked about Big League Show. Yeah, we'll be live at 1, man. We got Lewis Brinson on. We're going to be talking a lot of cool stuff with former MLB center fielder Lewis Brinson, former MLB exec Adrian Lorenzo. So we'll get the baseball talk now, but had to get this one up because, again, this is just a legitimate stud player that I'm very high on. Let me get the film back. Sorry, I'm just kind of running around here. Let's go back to where we were. Look at this route running, man. Over the middle. You see how he catches the ball with his hands and doesn't slow down, and then the physical finish on the running. That, to me, is a key because you can get guys with track speed, but then a lot of times you see them run routes, and they'll slow down to catch the ball. They'll body catch it. Look at the physicality with that block. And then they're not going to be able to keep their speed. But Restrepo was really good at keeping. That's why Restrepo played so much faster than 4A because he would catch the ball without slowing down an iota. Spafford has that same ability, but on top of that, he's a legitimate 4.3 runner. So that's why he's able to make these gigantic plays here in Orange County, California. Which, by the way, I mean, talk about Mario Cristobal's West Coast ability. Since when did look at him run that guy over? Since when did Miami go to Orange County and get these top 75 players? It just didn't happen consistently before. Now you're consistently beating teams like Georgia. Look at that route running. Consistently going out to the West Coast to land top 75, top 50 players. Hayden Lowe, 5-star last year. You were consistently winning these battles, and that is just a major difference between what we did in the past and what we're doing now. Albert McKinney saying, I was just on a Georgia chat earlier. Miami lives rent-free in Georgia fans' heads. Yeah, I'd love to win these battles, man. I'm sure there was some live McConkey. I think, Aaron Murrell has a great question, which is, are we stacking slot receivers as a preference for our quarterbacks? No, it's not that. The reason that, we're getting so many wide receivers is because in the slot is because this is a huge part of Shannon Dawson's offense. I mean, you look at Restrepo, obviously the stats he put up as a first-team All-America. You look at Tank Dell, what he did at Houston. He loves the slot. You're going to see Malachi Toney this year as a slot receiver, among other guys that are going to be very, very dangerous from that position. And I think one thing about the slot receiver position when it comes to Dawson is you see a lot of this. Big plays downhill or downfield, I should say, from the slot position. Very much like a Philip Dorsett, right? Where it's not like he's getting 8-yard routes. He's making big plays down the field. Restrepo, I already talked about his speed. Restrepo had a 4.A 40, whatever. He was 16+ yards per carry this year on high volume. So it's not like Restrepo was a dink and dunk player this year. He made big chunk plays. So that's part of the offense. And I think here with Spafford, that big play ability fits in with what Dawson likes to do. And it's just a perfect fit. I think the fit is a big reason why. And by the way, another aspect of Spafford's game, he is elite at blocking punts. This was something that was brought up to me by Miami staff, that Spafford is just an outstanding punt blocker. And that's something they expect him to do at Miami with a lot of effect. Look at that speed there, man. This guy's explosive. Multiple punt blocks in high school. That's really that get off. When you're on a 4.35, you're getting off the blocks fast. When you're running a 10.6 900, you are getting off the blocks fast. Here you go, another pump block. You don't usually see these speedy receivers doing this, but look at that. Boom, the timing, big time. And then, of course, the speed. A lot of love for Kevin Beard in these comments. Stop hating on Kevin Beard, elite human being, so he's going to get his share of elite wide receivers. Yeah, I don't know him that well, but, man, he's definitely been a cool dude every time I've been around him and talking to people. Shout out to Kevin Beard from David Scott. He gets flack for not landing 5-star wideouts, but then he does this with a few others about to commit. It is a huge win for Kevin Beard to go all the way to California. And you saw that on the tweet. I mean, he was a huge part of this recruitment. But, you go all the way out to Orange County, California, the other side of the world. UCLA wanted this guy bad and was going to pay up big for him. Washington, which just had a first-round receiver. They had 3 day 1 and day 2 receivers a couple of years ago when they went to the championship game. So they had a pretty good rap. They're in the Pacific. They wanted to pay for this guy as well. But Miami's able to get it done. And again, I think it's tribute to Kevin Beard, tribute to Mario Cristobal, what he does on the West Coast, tribute to the whole recruiting department. And then also, I think Shannon Dawson, just because if you're Shannon Dawson, you could put on the Tank Dell tape. Again, you see, look at that, catching the ball with his hands, not losing any speed. You can put on the Tank Dell tape. You can put on the Restrepo tape and say, listen, just picture yourself here. How do you think it's going to look? You can put on tape from the spring game, point to Malachi Toney. Can you do these things? So I think this is going to be a very, very exciting receiving room. You're going to see some of these guys move around too, because it's not like Malachi Toney's going anywhere. So you're going to want to figure out ways to get him on the field with Malachi Tony. And yeah, do you want size? Yes, you're getting a Tyron Evans potentially at wide receiver who's 200 pounds. There's other guys. Last year you got Josh Moore, Dalen Upshaw, bigger receiver. So yes, you want some size as well. But explosive playmaking like this, man, this is what Miami is all about. And I like his releases, man. He knows how to look at that route. I mean, look at that route. When you have that kind of route running ability with his speed, so you have to respect him deep, and he can stop on a dime like that and do so with precision and efficiency. Hard to cover a guy like this. Kyle Austin, does he have any highlights as returner? Yes, he does. But I think really his special teams, and he can do that. But I think his real special teams value, you see it when he's blocking kicks. For whatever reason, just seems to be his thing. One thing I want to see, and I've never actually seen these, I want to pull up his sophomore highlights, because when you have 1,500 yards, I can only imagine how nasty he was in 2023. So I'm going to pull up his sophomore highlights here. FTW saying Wes Welker was the first prototype big-time air raid slide. He sure was, but he didn't have that downfield production of like even a Restrepo. Restrepo was way more productive downfield than Welker, as of course was Tank Dell. It's that combination of the downhill or downfield ability plus the ability to get open quickly that is more typical from slots that you saw. And man, I mean, it's amazing to get a guy like this when you didn't even visit. He didn't even officially visit. This guy was unofficial in spring, officially visited Georgia, cancels Miami visit, and commits to Miami. I mean, that doesn't tell you this is a new era of Miami Hurricanes football, Miami Hurricanes recruiting. I mean, can you imagine that under the Manny Diaz era for a top 75 wide receiver or any other era? I mean, we'd laugh about that kind of thing. Or we'd wonder if this guy was like a serial killer or something, which I believe he is not. So, I've heard nothing, like no kind of issues whatsoever. Certainly he wasn't dropped. Georgia wanted to keep him big time. Just a tremendous player. So here's his sophomore clips. I mean, can this guy make plays? Look at that. Catches it over the middle, breaks the tackle, spins out, and then that's what 4-3 looks like, man. Just so jacked about the fit in the system. Over 10,000 on live for this impromptu edition. Live, we're here at Casa Cultura, 786 Sports Studios. As you can see behind me, some of the artwork from Adrian Lorenzo, my co-host on the L Big League show, former LB exec, and also a top artist. As we watch these Vance Spafford highlights, man, and I got to sit here and watch all these highlights because I hadn't seen these before. He is explosive as it gets. You see, again, short pass, 4-3 speed. When was the last time we saw this on the field at Miami, right? It's been a while. I think maybe Stacey Coley. I guess Amon Richards, you would say. His freshman year, you saw that as well. Different kind of guy, bigger guy. But, I mean, even that, what a player. Yeah, man, it's just I'm juiced up. Yalaha wants some Islas Canarias. Who doesn't? We got a lot of love for Kevin Beard here. A lot of love for this pickup. And look, you press him. He's got 4-3 speed if he gets by you. And then look what he does at the line. Let's see what he does here. Nice release. Gets outside, and then just pure speed. Physical player, too. I mean, you see him fighting that off, creating some space. And then you also see him blocking and knocking guys out on some of the crackbacks. You see him breaking tackles. He's not a big guy. You saw him in that picture when he committed. He's not a big guy, but he's not afraid to get physical. You see him there making some contested catches. And then I think when he puts on some size, he won't get the Restrepo size, but he can do some damage. Here you go, field goal block. We talked about pump block last time. And he almost caught that field goal block. He might grab one of these and go the other way when it comes time. You love to see things like that because it shows you this is not a finesse guy. This is not just a track guy. This is somebody who's a real football player who happens to have big-time speed. Look at that diving catch. I mean, I know I'm fired up, but that's what happens when you get a top 75 player. Over 1,100 on live and more every single second. This is something I keep repeating myself, but you see this consistently. When he's on those in-breaking routes, he catches the ball with his hands without slowing down. It's going to allow him to rack up chunk yardage with an accurate thrower. Let's say a Darion Coleman who gets the ball out quick, or even a Luke Nickel who's also a very accurate passer. You can do things like that. Look at the balance here. I think he's going to need to get stronger, but I do see toughness there. Question from Brandon, who do you like more, Jason Lopez or him? Vance Spafford. I like both of these guys. I would like to get both of these guys. I would prioritize both, and I was told Miami would gladly take both. Spafford's in, so that's one. Lopez visiting this past weekend. I would say if you're comparing him, Lopez is going to be stronger basketball player, probably more of that just kind of like coordination with the ball in the air, although Spafford has that as well. Spafford definitely faster. Spafford is definitely the faster player. I mean, he's faster than pretty much everybody that we've recruited since, Jeff Thomas, Philip Dorsett kind of guy. That's the category you put him in. I mean, look at this, just running right by dudes. I mean, if you don't get this guy, you don't get your hands on this guy, he will run right by you. Backing up saying we still have more slots than true outside receivers. I mean, you want guys that can make plays, man. I mean, you put this guy outside and have him just run by guys. You also do those hitches when people are respecting his speed. You could put this guy in multiple places. He is not just a one-dimensional guy. And I think his speed brings a dimension that we just don't have on the roster right now. So he's not just like another slot. This guy's a speedster. You can, God saying, do you think Stafford can be Jeff Thomas? I think Stafford can be way better than Jeff Thomas. I mean, I was not a Jeff Thomas fan. Obviously, the skill set was there, but I don't like players that are unreliable. I was much more a Mike Harley fan, which is why Mike Harley, was significantly more productive than Jeff Thomas. Obviously, Thomas was more talented, but Harley was the better player, the more productive player. Spafford, I mean, I don't know anything about the person. I've heard nothing but good things. So assuming Spafford has the work ethic that Thomas lacked, because Thomas was a smart guy, he just really lacked direction and reliability. Assuming he has that, I think he'll be 20 times the player that Jeff Thomas was for us, with similar speed and similar quickness. Also, Hall saying speed alone is an asset, no question. But you see here, look, I mean, this guy's playing receiver. I mean, he's doing receiver things. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to kind of set guys up. He's laterally quick. He's fluid with the ball in the air. So he's got a lot of that, man. So I'm fired up about that. Portion. I know the Jeff Thomas comparisons were just about the skill set. I was just kind of going on a rant because I was always a Harley over Thomas guy, and people get on me about it. But I'm very big on reliability, and I think Harley had some quickness and some speed, similar size to Vance Spafford. But I think if you're comparing Mike Harley, I'm sorry, you're saying Harley, Mike Harley to Spafford. Again, Harley was very productive for us. I think Spafford's got a little more fluidity, a little more just kind of wiggle to him than Harley, on top of being very quick, very fast, and very productive. So I'm fired up about this one, man. This is a huge pickup. Hal Lewis trying to find out who his quarterback is. I'm trying to find this out myself, man. He's a very talented guy. If we get Jay Lamar, Kevin Dennis, if we get Jay Lamar and Kaloje, Mario must have dirt on Kirby. Listen, you're recruiting big boy. It's big boy recruiting. If you go toe-to-toe with Georgia, that means you're recruiting the right kind of guys. I think Kaloje is the right kind of guy. I think Jackson Cantwell is the right kind of guy. I think Derek Cooper's the right kind of guy. I think Spafford's the right kind of guy. So, listen, I don't think anybody's worried about Georgia. They're doing pretty good in terms of recruiting and recruiting some of the big-time players in the country. So no one's crying tears for the Georgia Bulldogs. I know I'm not, but this is what happens when you recruit big-time players and are in big-time recruiting battles. You go against teams like Georgia, and I think that's a good thing. So, all right, fellas, I'm out of here. I will be on a Big League show at 1, so check that one out if you want to. If you're a baseball fan, it will be elite content there. Former MLB center fielder Lewis Brinson, former MLB executive Adrian Lorenzo. We'll be talking about whole things. But right now, we're talking Vance Spafford, man. So like and subscribe to the show. We'll have some more of these instant react commit shows coming up. We had the show earlier this morning on just crystal balls and the recruiting in general. And fired up, man. This one's got me going. So like and subscribe. Go Canes.